Well, good afternoon and happy Monday. It's Mondays with Michael live here in the Training Solutions room. Also, welcome to my home office. And I haven't really done this yet in any of our sessions. So this is my home office. I work in the basement of my home here in Chantilly. For those of you who've been in the room a couple of times, you see the stuff over my right hand, left hand shoulder. I have a little bit of a sports wall back there. It's a little bit Giants, a little bit Yankees. Yes, I am a New York fan. We are New York fans. And you'll see a lot of that in the background, so that's why that's there. Credenza over my shoulder, some family pictures and whatnot, and some pictures over my shoulder over here. You'll see some more pictures of Nicole and whatnot. So this is kind of my home resting spot. It's where it all happens. So thank you for joining me. And our topic today is team building. And I get asked this question fairly regularly from both HR directors and from managers, people who supervise a group of people. Does team building training really work? And if it does work, what do you recommend? I mean, is there something that we can do on our own? Do we need an outside facilitator? What is it? What is this thing, team building, all about? So I have some notes I'm going to go over with you, some things we've tried over the years that have worked. I have a couple programs I'm going to tell you about that may work if you're looking to do team building training. And then at the end, I have some announcements for you, some commercials, if you will. So let's get started. So team building. So you work in a group at an organization, and you have 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and you're going out plotting your work, doing your work on a regular basis, and you're wondering whether a team building training program may be of value to your team. As a general rule, I would say some type of team building activity, whether it's formalized training or something done outside the workplace, is always a good idea. I ask leaders and HR directors with teams that are struggling, how often do these folks meet outside of work? Do they do anything socially to get to know each other a little better? Is it a bowling thing or a baseball thing? Or around here in Virginia, they all go to the winery on the weekend and are doing things socially to get to know each other a little better. Teams that know each other a little better, that trust each other a little better, tend to perform at a bit higher level. So at first brush, you don't really need a formalized team building training program, but something to do on a regular basis as a group outside of work or even inside of work on a social level would be a good idea. When I work with teams, I tell them there's really 2 parts of the work. There's the content of the work. There's the work that the team is doing to either help the customer or to help their client or to get the work done on a project internally for the company. So there's the work that's being done. In most team meetings I've sat in over the years, it's all about the work that's getting done. It's project updates, it's mission updates, it's scorecard updates. It's all that stuff about getting the work done. But I ask team leaders, what are you working on as far as working better together? Show me an agenda item that says team building or something about team building or how we are working better together, how we are solving conflict, how are we building trust, how are we doing other things within the team to make the team work better together. So it's not just the plan, it's how you're going to put the plan in place. How are you going to put the plan in place? So a couple things that we recommend. Now, when you're doing face-to-face training, actual training in the organization, it's very important that everybody participates in the training. Over the years, I've done team building trainings where participants either couldn't be there for one reason or another, or worse yet, the team leader couldn't even be there. If you are doing some type of team building activity, whether it's off-site or in the building formalized training, it's very important that everyone participates. Everyone is actively engaged in the discussion. Everyone's actually engaged in the learning. Just another suggestion, I know technology can be tough at times, but I would suggest checking the technology at the door. When we do team building training, even if we do team building training in a short period of time or an extended period of time, we have a set of kind of ground rules that we work with the team to try to make that team building successful. We started with a basic set of ground rules about team building training, and sometimes that expands to even team building behavior outside the training. But normally one of the bits of that kind of ground rule or team norms, if you want to call it, is don't let technology interfere in the learning. So not that I actually collect the phones, although there are team leaders who've done that over the years, but it's good to have people kind of plug out for a while. Normally with a formalized team building training program, you'll have breaks along the way. When we do team building, we give participant breaks along the way. Every 90 minutes or so, every couple hours, you get a 15-minute break. And people can check in at that 15-minute break, open up the laptops, open up the cell phones, and check in what they want to check in. I did a team building training recently where the entire class opened up their laptop ready to go learn. So we asked them to, tactfully turn the laptops off, turn them down, and I think they got more out of the program. So make sure everyone's engaged, everyone participates in the team building training. Now, as far as content goes, what type of training do you want to do in the classroom? Well, we do a couple of different things. Let me go over a couple of those with you. For those of you who know me and know Sharon, know our business, we're a DISC-based organization. So we use DISC as a kind of get to know each other a little better. Colleagues of mine who are certified in Myers-Briggs use Myers-Briggs the same way, and there are other assessments you can use so that people can understand themselves at work, and then they can also understand others at work. And why is it when this happens you do this, and why is it when that happens you do that? So it's a way to introduce each other to different work styles. We use DISC in the team building area to kind of map out the team. So we identify the D's, the I's, the S's, and the C's on the team. We talk about how to better communicate with each other, how to present information to each other, what are the priorities based on style, how to communicate better, how to work better together. But then we actually take a look at the map. We take a look at the dots along the DISC circle, if you will, and we talk about the team, about the strengths of that team based on the behaviors and the personalities within that team. If you have a team that's very strong DI, that behavior and personality is going to be different than the team that's S and C. So how do you get those folks to work better together, whether your team is well balanced from a DISC perspective or your team is heavy one side or the other side on the DISC map. We also encourage people to post training in the team building session is to run these comparison reports. Our system gives you the ability to run a DISC report comparing me to you. So we encourage people to have this comparison report discussion outside of the team meeting. Though depending on how much time we get in the team building training, we will actually facilitate that first discussion in the room. But we ask people to sit down one-on-one outside of the team meeting, outside of the workplace if possible, to talk about how you and I work better together. Because if you and I work better together and everyone else on the team is working better together and I can have these meetings with other folks, we can hash out some issues one-on-one, we can build strengths one-on-one, and then get back to the workplace and get the team a bit more productive. So we really encourage these, not only team building sessions that are training, but also these one-on-one discussions using DISC as a tool to have these one-on-one meetings. The other program we offer on a more in-depth basis is we are certified in the Patrick Lencioni 5 Behaviors of a Cohesive Team, based on his book, 5 Dysfunctions. It takes the team through a guided journey of kind of team discovery, learning about the team, some of the challenges it faces, some of the strengths it has, and we incorporate DISC into that learning. That program starts with the first module on trust. How does the team learn to build vulnerability trust within the team? How do I work with my team members and give them feedback on things they do really well, but also give them feedback when maybe they haven't lived up to expectations? And me as a team member, how do I share that I may have messed up? And the ability for me to be vulnerable in that situation helps the team. So we spent some time talking about DISC and vulnerability-based trust. It's kind of the first module. Our second module is all around engaging in healthy conflict. And we go back to the DISC model, and we talk about those behaviors that are healthy conflict behaviors and those that are unhealthy conflict behaviors. And I hear this pretty regularly from our clients, that conflict seems to be a big issue on the team. And taking folks through this module, really having these deeper discussions around why that is. Why do we have this destructive conflict on the team? And we try to get them to a place where we're using healthy conflict, using those behaviors to help solve problems for the team. And then we get into this commitment discussion. Our third module is commitment. How do we get the team to commit to team goals and not individual goals? And part of that module is talking about weighing into buy-in. A lot of times we work with teams, and whatever the team leader says, this is the kind of way things go. The boss is the boss. But in this module, we talk about team members having the ability to weigh in on decisions. And when we work with team leaders, we tell them that, sometimes the best ideas come from the most shyest person on your team, those S's and C's in the DISC model. So making sure that everybody has an opportunity to weigh in so they'll buy into the decision. Even if you don't take their idea, they know that they have the ability to share what they're feeling about this team decision, which is always important. From a commitment, we go to accountability. So the program teaches peer-to-peer accountability, which is kind of different from the old model of boss-employee accountability. And I run into this a lot when I deliver this module. You know, the old paradigm that my boss is my boss and that person's the only one I'm accountable to because that person writes my review at the end of the year, gives me my raise at the end of the year. And though I like my teammates, my job is not really holding them accountable. It's really the boss's job to hold them accountable. Well, this model changes that a bit. It really encourages team members to hold each other accountable, to call each other on the carpet when they're not living up to expectations. We teach this in the program, we practice this in the program, and this is a big part of the new learning with teams we work with. And then the last module is focusing on collective results. How do we take the results of the team from just me to we? How do we get from just my career development, worried about what my next step is, how do we get the team to the next step? So we focus in on team results. Along the way in this program, we set up action plans for each module. We set up goals for the team moving forward. And like our this program gives you the ability to run these one-on-one comparison reports. So we facilitate this early on in the discussion. We practice this in the classroom, and then we have participants have these one-on-one meetings throughout the course of the program. And it's just powerful when people come back to the program after each module and share what they're learning from each other, things they didn't know about each other, and how they're working better together. We come back in after this program's over, 3 months later, we run the assessment again to see how the team's doing, because you want to measure progress. And how do you measure progress with your team building training? Well, part of it you'll see naturally. Folks are working better together, more work's getting done, less conflict, more trust on the team. But you want to keep building on that. You don't want to do a team building training program, especially something formal, and kind of leave it alone. You want to come back together and learn a new skill. And depending on what team we are working with, we'll come back in and work with another skill to help make the team work better together. So just a couple of things to kind of wrap up, and I do want to give you a couple of commercials. So if you're interested about the 5 Behaviors program, you'll find this on our website. This is the flyer. If you go to our website, you'll see this team building flyer, Patrick Alencioni, and you'll learn about the team building program. You can always email me information about the team building program, ferraro@trainingsolutions.com, or you can message me here on Facebook. The other thing I want to do is remind you that on November 2nd in Tyson's Corner, we'll be at the Westin Tyson's Corner on November 2nd from 8:30 to 10:30 about our new pre-employment assessment tool, the PXT Select. You can download this from our website also. Email me. I'll send you one of those flyers. We'll invite you to that event. Let me pull out my schedule here and see what the next Mondays of Michael's Live is going to be. Next Monday, we're going to be talking about this PXT Select. So we're talking about this product, the hiring assessment, what it measures, what it does. Getting you ready for our event on November 2nd. So as always, email me your questions, your HR training related questions. I really appreciate you hanging out with me in the room today. It looks like we're a little over 13 minutes. I want to make sure we end under 15. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for watching if you're watching a replay. And have a great day. Take care.